Welcome back, or welcome to Chimes at Midnight, our home cocktail bar. This is Al, and I'm David. We're your bartenders. Last 3 episodes, we talked about martinis and the history of martinis, taking this up to the present and offering some, what we hope, ideas about how to make martinis that are better than the martinis you get in most places most of the time. Today we're going to talk about another gin-based cocktail, but different than martini in almost every other way. It's the Spruce Goose. Now, I should hasten to say that our Spruce Goose, the one we're going to talk about, which, by the way, I found in an online cocktail recipe site called Tuxedo No. 2, which I think is excellent and recommend. It's tuxedo2.com. Recommend you give a try. Anyway, this is the Spruce Goose that is made with a heavy dose of Angostura bitters. So bitters are really the beginning of cocktails. I have my own theory about that, which I'll tell you right now. So back in the 18th century, families made their own bitters, and they were home remedies. They were ways of curing, well, pretty much everything. And my guess is that a mother trying to cure her child of some malady added a little sugar to it. Tasted pretty good. The kid drank it. Later on, she might have, bitters already had spirits in them, but she might have added a little bit more, and her husband, who might have been sick, tried that and realized that that was really good, and pretty soon spirits evolved into cocktails. So what happened over time, though, in the 19th and most of the 20th century was that bitters became less and less interesting and less a serious part of cocktails until recently. So as probably most of you know, we're in a real cocktail renaissance where in many respects cocktails are improving, both in cocktail bars but especially in home bars. And the Spruce Goose is one of those. So it relies on a very heavy dose of bitters and some other ingredients that will turn this into, I think, maybe a crowd pleaser that you can serve to anybody who comes to your house and is looking for something unusual and delicious to drink. So a Spruce Goose, well, there are really 3 Spruce Geese. I've only had one of those 3, and it's the one with the heavy bitters. One of those is a martini like Spruce Goose, which might be interesting. Maybe it'd even be a good martini. Who knows? For now, let's go to the Angostura Bitters Heavy Spruce Goose, which Alex is going to begin to prepare for. So the first thing we need is a frozen coupe, which is where it's going to finally land. We're going to need our shaker, and we're going to start with Aviation Gin. Aviation Gin is an American gin. It's dry. But American gins are slightly different from London Dry. You could use Beefeater or, Tanqueray or any of the London gins that you like. But in this drink, for some reason, I especially prefer Aviation. So 2 ounces of Aviation. Next, we're going to have some lemon juice. I think a half an ounce of lemon juice. You could. Lime is really the preferred citrus in this drink by some, but I think either one is perfectly fine. Notice that when we say a half ounce of lemon juice, what we really mean here is kind of half a lemon. We're not being too specific about that. It's not really necessary. The next ingredient is, I think, a wonderful ingredient. It's used in lots of different cocktails, and it's something that you can make in your home so easily, but a lot of people, like one of the producers of this video series, has so far refused to do it. But now that he knows that you can have it in a bee's knees,
a Giffian,
yeah,
3 dots and a dash, perhaps.
Derby,
all of those, exactly. I think he's ready to go home and make some right now. Meanwhile, if you'd like to check out how to make honey syrup, Alex has shown us that in a separate video. Just click the link and it'll take you right there. So here we go. Back. Honey, half an ounce of honey syrup. Mm-hmm. Yep. Doesn't that look good? Honey syrup changes it. I mean, it's such a wonderful sweetener to me. It changes the flavor of a drink in a way that I've always found delightful. In fact, you could experiment endlessly with that, using it in place of simple syrup or grenadine, you know, and probably learn a lot about what you like and don't like. Oh, and now the most important ingredient, Angostura bitters. So we're going to use a quarter ounce of Angostura bitters here. Alex has got to be careful because we plucked the little dasher off the top of this bottle of Angostura bitters, because as we're going to discuss in the video that's going to come next, there are better ways to measure bitters than just shaking them out of the bottle. Now I think we're ready to, you got a cold cube a big cube in there? Yep. Got a big cube. Here we go. One of the things that I like about a big cube is when you shake it, there's a lot of power going on in there, so that drink gets, you know, like pulverized in a hurry. Look at the color of that thing. How about that? It looks almost frightening. It looks like lava.
Like some spruce.
Yeah, it is a sight to behold. So, and you know, obviously that's the mostly the effect of Angostura bitters. One last ingredient, pinch of salt. This is what happens to bartenders a lot. We forget that one last ingredient, you know. Luckily, Alex has got me to, you know, show him the way. So let's try it. Do you want to try it first? We're related. You know, one of the things you gotta love about this drink is the aroma, first of all, that comes from the bitters. The second thing is the kind of rising freshness of the drink. You know, goes all over. And the third thing is, you know, that, you know, Angostura bitters are about 90 proof themselves, and so it just goes right to your head in the best possible way.